Hi, it's Better Photo Jim, and I'm here to answer your question of the day. So today's question is, when should I use the matrix metering versus something like the center weighted metering on the exposure of my camera? What a great question. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the different options you have available. You have those two that we mentioned, matrix or evaluative metering. You also have center weighted. And then in addition, you might sometimes come across spot metering. So let's talk about those. Well, spot metering is great when you have a smaller subject that is of a greatly different contrast or tonal zone than the surrounding area. So think about like you're photographing, say, an elk or a person or some darker subjects on a wide expanse of snow, for example. If most of the image is a different exposure level, but there's this small subject and you want to just zone in and just get the exposure right for that subject, then you might consider spot. Now, center is a little bit bigger than that. It's not so tight of a zone, but say you're photographing something right in the middle of your composition. You have a face of either a person or a wildlife, and it's right in the middle, and you want to just make sure that that's the thing that it exposes for. However, I'll be honest with you, I use matrix or evaluative almost all the time. And that's because the AI, the programming, has become so sophisticated. Now, matrix metering, it divides your scene up into zones, and it actually compares your scene to thousands and thousands of different models that it has pre-programmed in. So it knows that if there's a general shape of a person right in the middle of the photo, it knows what to do. It has a very sophisticated idea of what to do to get a proper exposure. And that's the key thing to keep in mind. We're talking about proper exposure. And our cameras are so sophisticated nowadays. They are so strong that we really can trust them so much of the time. There might be a few situations where I use exposure compensation to bump the exposure up or down. But so often, I just trust the ability of the camera to get the proper exposure, and I focus on what is the creative exposure. I focus my attention and my mind on how can I make the most interesting, the most beautiful exposure of this particular scene. So for example, if I'm photographing a beautiful sunset and there's so much color in the sky and it's gorgeous, and I have some foreground object, well, I might want that object to become pure black to make a nice, crisp silhouette. And so for that, I might use my mind to think about, okay, how can I adjust this exposure so that that dark subject in the middle isn't kind of gray and you don't see kind of a little bit of detail. It's pure, crisp black. So I might underexpose that photo to give the bright sky all of its color and give that dark object the crisp blackness that I want. All right, so I hope that helps. Those are a few tips about the matrix and center weighted and spot metering. Go out and try it out today. Have some fun experimenting with the different metering and see what you like best. Now, click the like button below and please subscribe to my channel. And if you have a question about photography, feel free to email me. I'd love to help. All right, this is Jim. Have fun making better photos. Hi, it's Better Photo Jim.